why not? Half sounds good.
The tension continues to mount on Kaguya-sama Love is War as President Shirogane and Vice Pres Kaguya both harbor feelings for each other, yet struggle to muster the courage to confess their love. We start the episode off with Kaguya wearing cat ears, as it turns out French visitors will soon visit the academy and the school has decided to hold a cosplay party. Kaguya dons a pair of cat ears, making Shirogane quite excited. To hide his infatuation, Shirogane tries to play it cool, but his intense look scares Chika. To lighten the mood, Kaguya puts cat ears on Shirogane, causing her to become infatuated with him. Kaguya tries to conceal her grin, but it's still visible, leaving Shirogane confused. Kaguya claims Shirogane looks very good with the cat ears, but Shirogane thinks she's being sarcastic. Kaguya suggests taking a photo for posterity, but Shirogane believes it'll be used for extortion later on. Despite Shirogane's reluctance, Chika insists and drags Kaguya into the photo shoot. This leads to an altercation, and Chika confiscates the cat ears. In the end, Chika loses the battle. As the Monday welcome party approaches, Chika realizes they need souvenir sweets. Hoping to tackle this task with Kaguya, the two decide to play Banned Word to determine who will get the sweets. Chika starts off with a freestyle rap, while Kaguya remains silent. Shirogane insists it's unfair and Kaguya agrees to speak. In an attempt to gain the upper hand, Shirogane asks Kaguya what she hates. Chika admits she's bad at reading situations, causing Kaguya to unknowingly utter her banned word. Determined to win, Shirogane declares he's getting serious and loses, making Chika the winner, and tasking Kaguya and Shirogane with getting the souvenirs. Unfortunately, Shirogane loses the match. Later, Kaguya and her personal valet Ai chat about Shirogane reaching out to her, but the conversation escalates to Kaguya confessing her love for him. Ai suggests Kaguya call Shirogane instead of texting him, and with Ai's help, Kaguya reaches out to Shirogane. But it's his father who answers the phone, treating her coldly. Kaguya finally gets through to Shirogane, who is in the bathtub, and they schedule a meeting for the next day at Hachiko. Kaguya realizes Shirogane was about to say something and feels flustered. Shirogane then sends her a text with what he wanted to say. The next day brings pouring rain, and Ai forbids Kaguya from leaving the house. Kaguya spends 30 minutes composing a text to cancel her plans with Shirogane. Despite the plans being cancelled and the rain pouring around him, Kaguya sent the first text and he still considers it a victory. The next day, the long-awaited party has finally arrived, and it's a huge success. The student council is congratulated by Principal Adolf Pescarolo. As the party progresses, Shirogane strikes up a conversation with Kaguya and asks if she can speak French. Kaguya admits that she's not fluent, but Shirogane reveals that he's been studying the language. Suddenly, a French student approaches the two, and while Shirogane struggles to understand her, Kaguya jumps in and speaks to her fluently, leaving Shirogane surprised. To his shock, he discovers that even Chika speaks French, as her mother was once a French diplomat. Realizing that he's the only one there who doesn't speak French, he starts to feel out of place. However, it turns out that the principal had planned this all along, as he wanted to gauge Shirogane's caliber. So, he sends a woman named Betsy to confront Shirogane and test his French skills. Despite Betsy's tirade of insults in French, Shirogane doesn't understand and simply agrees and smiles. But Betsy doesn't give up and continues to push Shirogane. However, Kaguya comes to his rescue, giving Betsy a taste of her own medicine and scaring her off. After the party is over, Shirogane thanks Kaguya for coming to his aid. At the start of episode 5, Nagisa visits Kaguya for some romantic advice, and Kaguya agrees to help. Despite feeling a bit uneasy about the topic, Nagisa hopes to break up with her boyfriend Tsubasa. If you remember, Tsubasa was the boy that went to Shirogane for advice a few episodes ago. Kaguya admits that she has no personal experience in this matter, but she still decides to give Nagisa some advice. Nagisa explains that she became Tsubasa's girlfriend simply because he pursued her, but since then, they've grown distant. To better understand their relationship, Kaguya asks Nagisa to list Tsubasa's positive qualities. Kaguya then gives her some examples of such qualities, reminding her of Shirogane. However, Kaguya retracts her thoughts and flustered comments, saying that she's not talking about herself. She continues, stating that focusing on the positive traits of your boyfriend can help develop love for your partner, something she heard from an acquaintance, not from her own experience. Just as Kaguya finishes her advice, love detective Chika bursts into the scene. She asks Nagisa to imagine Tsubasa with another woman, and Kaguya does the same. Both the girls' reactions are gloomy and irritable, respectively. Chika then proclaims that the deeper the emotional jealousy behind the thought, the greater the love for that person. Wanting to help Tsubasa, Kaguya joins in and gives some advice regarding the Romeo and Juliet effect, which is when a person, place, or thing acts as an impediment to the two lovers. Kaguya explains that when overcoming an obstacle together, the love between two people begins to grow more. Chika says that in Nagisa and Tsubasa's case, society is their enemy. Empowered by this, Nagisa runs off to face society with Tsubasa. Although a bit disconcerted about the consequences of their actions, Chika reassures Kaguya that everything will be fine. As it turns out, everything does work out. Tsubasa and Nagisa, accompanied by 3 kids, collect donations in the city center, with Shirogane also helping out. In the end, Kaguya realizes that she lost in love, that is. Later, we cut to Shirogane struggling with his volleyball skills alone in the gym. The narrator then reveals while Shirogane excels academically, he lacks any coordination. Enter Chika, who stumbled upon him by chance. Scared his secret will be exposed, Shirogane is skeptical about her help, but Chika's perfect volleyball serve convinces him otherwise. With her guidance, Shirogane learns to open his eyes and improve his serve through a rigorous 4-day training routine. A week later, Shirogane shows off his newfound skills on the court, impressing Chika and leading them to victory. The next day, as the rain pours down, the student council wraps up its tasks for the day, but Kaguya has other plans. In a sly move, she decides to walk home instead of taking her car. Upon leaving school, the two engage in playful banter, pretending they don't have umbrellas on them. However, they both secretly have umbrellas, leading to a game of exposing each other's lies. As the back and forth continues, it becomes clear that Kaguya had orchestrated a master plan to gain the upper hand over Shirogane, but just as she goes for the final blow, Chika arrives and hands her an umbrella, leaving Kaguya mortified. In defeat, she offers the umbrella to Shirogane, who initially declines, but ultimately the two compromise and share the umbrella together. The outcome of their game? A tie. At the start of episode 6, we get a brief introduction of the student council treasurer, Ishigami. He announces to Shirogane that he wishes to resign from his position. As Shirogane contemplates Ishigami's resignation, he urges him to reconsider, but Ishigami remains determined as he believes that Kaguya is going to murder him. This belief stems from past experiences where Kaguya threatened him for unintentionally ruining her plans and for trying to reveal her true feelings to the president. Additionally, Ishigami believes that Chika is in even greater danger than he is. This is due to the sinister looks he's seen Kaguya give her, and Ishigami believes that she only has 2 months left to live. Suddenly, Kaguya enters the student council room, covered in blood and wielding a knife. She demands to talk with Ishigami, causing Ishigami and Shirogane to scream out in terror. However, it turns out that Kaguya was merely playing a prank on the two as she was helping the drama club. Despite this explanation, Ishigami remains unconvinced. Just then, Chika enters the room in a bloody mess with a knife in her chest, horrifying the two. But this too was a prank. Despite this, Ishigami still thinks that this is another trap set up by Kaguya. Shirogane reassures him and tells him to have faith in his comrades. Kaguya then speaks with Ishigami and thanks him for keeping her secret, but also threatens him not to resign. Ultimately, Ishigami loses as he's still afraid of Kaguya. Now, take a break from Ishigami's terror to answer the question of the day. Who is the most relatable character in the show for you? Comment down below and get a chance to be shouted out. Now, onto the recap. The next day, Chika conducts a personality test on Shirogane using a book she borrowed from the library, piquing Kaguya's curiosity as well. The first question reveals that Shirogane wants 9 kids, which shocks the group. As they continue on with the test, Chika drags Ishigami and Kaguya into it as well, and it becomes clear that Kaguya knew Chika would do something like this and had prepared herself for it. The next question, which Kaguya suspects is related to indicating who you're in love with, leads to an awkward moment when Ishigami answers Kaguya, but she doesn't reciprocate his feelings. Shirogane's answer to the question is his sister, revealing that he's a siscon. Disconcerted by the results, Ishigami leaves for the day, planning to stop by a hospital before going home. Tired of the questions from the book, Chika takes a bold move and gets a new set of questions from the internet. The final question involves how much you love an individual by how many flowers you'd give your beloved. Kaguya answers with a bouquet, while Shirogane impulsively answers with a truckload. This shocks Kaguya, since this means that Shirogane really loves her. Ultimately, Shirogane loses the match of the day for almost revealing his love. We then cut to the blonde-haired Ai Hayasaka saying goodbye to her friends. She makes her way to the student council room to visit Kaguya, and Kaguya scolds Ai for showing up while the other members are absent and for her casual appearance. Ai defends herself, claiming that beauty is power in high society. Kaguya, intrigued by the argument and wanting to impress the president, agrees to let Ai do her nails. The next day, Kaguya can't help but wonder if Shirogane will notice and appreciate her new pink nails. In the student council room, she tries to catch his attention, but to her disappointment, Shirogane acts oblivious. Though secretly, he is shocked by Kaguya's newfound fashion sense. He fears that if he compliments her nails, it'll be considered sexual harassment. Meanwhile, Ishigami comments on Chika's new hair conditioner, noting that it smells like a baby. Chika smiles and tells Ishigami that this is creepy, causing Ishigami to shed a single tear and want to die. Disheartened by Chika's blunt rejection, Shirogane struggles with how to approach Kaguya. After school, Kaguya storms out of the schoolyard but is stopped by Shirogane. Flustered, he tries to compliment her nails, but his words come out all wrong. Despite his blunder, Kaguya wins the day. Despite all of this buildup, Shirogane never spoke his mind about Kaguya's new nails. Such a pity. In the end, we've been introduced to Ishigami, but Kaguya and Shirogane still aren't any closer to confessing their love. Still, it's exciting to have Ishigami as a new addition to the mix.